East Coast. So we are so happy, Meghann, to have you here with us because you have truly touched our lives and changed the ways that we use recovery storytelling. So to give everybody a little taste of what we're going to get into, we are going to show a quick little 4-minute video of you telling an amazing story. So let's just pop over here and let Calliese show.
Share sound.
Yep. And here we go. So this is the amazing Meghann in a short recovery story.
The heavy metal maroon door slammed shut.
Moment of clarity. Go into the bar.
Expecting my mother always to be.
I met him in a crack house. I wasn't trying to meet anybody. Like, I paid a lot of money to just sit there by myself and grind my teeth. But when I offered him my last hit and he said no, and then he turned around and offered me his last Percocet, I was like, maybe this guy's kind of cool. I ended up falling in love with him against my will. He had these beautiful blue eyes that were like the color of the ocean. And he had this really soft voice. And he loved the woods and the water and the mountains like I did. And not long after we met Dude. Dude was your typical big-time drug dealer. You know, he had like wads of cash and fancy cars and crazy girlfriends and a gun. And he set us up to sell for him. You'd think it would be a dream come true, right? Two addicts with more coke and money than they knew what to do with. We tried to convince ourselves it was, but the truth is that it was a nightmare. It was awful. We were just paranoid and strung out and afraid all the time. We had scary people trying to steal from us, and we had the DEA on us all the time. And I ended up just kind of secretly wishing it would end somehow. And it did. It ended with me sitting in a cold, tiny gray cement room, staring at the chain that linked my left hand to my right hand, listening to the DEA tell me that I was looking at 5 years in prison, but there was a way out. The way out was to testify against him, Chris, with the blue eyes. And I knew that they had just made that same offer to Chris in the same room not that long before. I wish that I could say that I trusted him. Because on the street, I trusted him with my life. We had to trust each other like that with the way that we were living. I never doubted him for a second. But sitting in there in that cold room, looking at prison, I wasn't so sure. But I had to choose, not knowing what he had chosen. And I chose to trust him. I turned down the deal, and I dealt with the system. And thank God, so did he. And when the system was done, when we ground through the meat grinder of the criminal justice system and came out the other side, we tried so hard to make it work. We both got into recovery eventually, and we tried to build a life, just a regular life. But we couldn't do it. We couldn't make the relationship work. Whatever worked for us on the street, it didn't work for us in recovery. And 8 years after I met him, he packed up all his stuff into his rusty pickup truck and he drove off back to the mountains. And I was heartbroken. And today I've got a scar on my heart with his name on it. And that's okay. I don't regret a thing because every part of that journey with him helped bring me to where I am today. And today is awesome.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You know how to kill these little stories, lady.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. It is. Go ahead.
No, so just, give us some background about how this craft came about, because we know how it's affected us, but you've come up with this and done some amazing work. So share away.
Yeah, thank you. I do just have to say it out loud that it's just weird to watch my own stories, you know. I am so focused now on other people's stories, and so sometimes it's like, oh, I'm the one in the hot seat. Also, I'm remembering all the things as, you know, I'm telling them again. So, but yeah, so I fought a long battle with substance use disorder, and did all the things and had all the things happen. And when I got into recovery, I was really committed. Right away, I was introduced to advocacy work and, you know, really helping other people have access and supports for recovery. And so I just dug right in, and I was doing a lot of speaking. You know, I was a writer, and I've done, you know, I have a theater degree, and you know, I was doing all these speaky things, and that was great, but it was rote. I just kept saying this happened and this happened and this happened, and then it changed, and now it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so simplistic. It was just so simplistic, and it's too long, and it's an overview, and there's not, like, the heart wasn't in it. Both as a teller and as for people listening, it was hard to listen to. And so I started to sort of get back into the old dreams that I'd lost, you know, along the way, and get back into theater and performing. And then I discovered this art form, personal narrative storytelling. And it was so much fun. I took a 4-hour class. I started this story that you just saw was started in that class. It was called Queen Asshole at that time.
Love it.
It's come a long way. A little more refined now.
Classy.
And I just realized there was such a better way to convey the same things that were so important to me, is that we're human beings. We have a brain disease. It makes us do bad stuff, but we're not bad.
Exactly.
And we're humans just like you. And so the craft of it, the art form of it, really gave me this brand new framework to work within. And that framework was so much more powerful than the way I'd been telling my story for forever. And so I was like, okay, you know, I went to my first like Moth Story Slam, and I won. And I was like,
ooh, that feels good.
And then I won my second one, and I was like, oh yes.
Pro status.
Yes. What I was really realizing is that I was performing these stories in clubs and bars and comedy spaces, and everyone was drinking. Most of them were drunk, and having the best time. And then I come up there and I just like hit them with the recovery message, like just so hard, like, ha! Because you weren't trying to hear this, but I got you with this really powerful message, you know? And so I was like, I can't be the only one doing this. Everyone needs to do this. And so I just found, you know, I built a curriculum. I brought in a really wonderful woman, Andrea Lovett, who's a professional storyteller and has won every storytelling award there is. And she helped me build this course that became Recovery Storytelling. So it's really just that heart of advocacy. I'm a recovery coach and a recovery coach trainer. So it's all those principles that we work with, like everyone in the room is a resource. They know their own story the best. They're their own experts. You know, motivational interviewing to find out what's important to you in the story. What do you really want to say in the story? And then just sort of brought all that together with that craft. And I mean, it's just been this really incredible journey. We did our first run in 2017, and it's been amazing. And I love the work. It's just, we're also fascinating. We're also fascinating, right? Like, we've had these really intense lives. And so instead of telling the whole journey, like, oh, and then I went to jail, And then, and then my daughter, was born dependent on, medically assisted recovery. And it's, it's like I got booked into jail for the first time, 5 months pregnant, and, with a bottle of Bob Barker shampoo and an orange men's jumpsuit. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's so much more interesting.
The Bob Barker shampoo is just great.
He was my only friend. I was like, at least I got a familiar friend. Why does he need to make money off of prison toiletries?
Exactly. It was like whatever I told you about my shower shoes.
Yes. Yes. And so that stuff is so rich and it's beautiful for connecting with each other, those of us who have this lived experience. But it's also a really human way to connect with others. And so it was like the magical power that this format has to reach everyone, not just people who already know this story, but to reach people who have no idea and thought they had nothing in common with somebody who has a substance use disorder, and realizing, they're just like me. Like, they didn't want to be like that. They're not jerks. They're human, in a struggle.
Yeah.
So I could go on and on, but I'll stop there.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I think when we got introduced to you by Phil, and then we kind of watched some of the stories, and we came along to the storytelling workshop, for me, it's almost like it's been a natural progression. It's kind of at a point early in my life, I was said, this is how I can talk about it or not talk about it. Let's just keep it anonymous and not talk about it, because that was okay. And then recovery messaging and the whole favor training was like the next step to change the way I talked about it. And then I attended your training and I was just like, man, she has just set me on fire, up the game. This is a completely different ball game. And your storytelling allowed us to remove some more of that guilt and shame around me being a mom, and you being able to use my story about Calliese to help people identify to that.
Yeah.
And then to give Calliese a format where she could just, I love the way you said it, just pull one thread out of all of that stuff and build on it. And I just think it's just amazing. And I can't stop singing your praises, because you have just changed the way that we talk about recovery.
And I think too, it was like I said earlier, it's a safe way to share your story. And I think that's really important as well, because like, I know previously, whenever I might have shared my story, I might have rambled on, and then I'm like rambling and get lost, and then I might have said something, and I'm like, ooh, shouldn't have said that. But like, this gives me a way to craft where I can make sure it's safe and I feel comfortable with sharing.
And I also think the time that you allow, just like 3 to 5 minutes of sharing a story, if somebody only has to talk for 3 to 5 minutes, it just makes it so much more manageable, especially in the beginning.
And like, our attention span these days is like a goldfish, right?
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, the switch to digital, this is traditionally taught as a 5-minute art form, because it stands alone. I thought, the personal narrative storytelling is this whole own world. And that's traditionally 5, maybe 7 minutes. In the most sort of widely used form. But when we switched to digital, I started teaching 3 to 5 instead of 5 to 7, because our attention spans are short. But the cool part about shortening it like that is that the impact of every sentence hits. It's just like boom, 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 boom.
Amen.
You really hone it so that it's just like so tight and perfect, and every sentence is pushing the story forward and enhancing the meaning of the story. I just took a 99-second story class.
Wow.
What?
That is very challenging.
99 seconds.
So should we get the stopwatch out and time you?
I made one up yesterday that wasn't too bad, but oh my gosh, it's intense, but that's what's so cool about it, You're
not going to do that in the intensive course I told you I'm signing up for with you, are you?
No. But I might design a new curriculum for a 99-second story. Elevator pitches, fundraising. You get in front of a stakeholder, a fundraiser, or
pro status.
You get 99 seconds to just get them, get them. But I do want to mention, Naetha, you said about the healing, that was an unexpected surprise bonus.
Oh,
Really?
I had no idea when I started doing it. I was just doing it for advocacy, and I had no idea how powerful the process would become for people and for me, because I used to live in a box and it was just labeled addict felon. Like that was
Yeah.
the box I lived in. I made that box myself. Society continually reinforced it, and I was going to stay there.
Yeah.
And it was, being set free in that creative process that helped me step outside of the box. And that's just so freeing and so healing. So a lot of people come into the course just because they want to do some healing, do some exploring, have some fun with their stories, because our stories aren't all doom and gloom.
No.
There's light and love and laughter and all kinds of stuff in there too. So
that's really interesting you say that, because I was talking to somebody the other day, because I do stories now and I like to write them, and with the story slam and the UK versus USA one that we're gonna get going, I gotta keep my story game strong. But I was saying to one of my friends the other day, I said I think that the storytelling has kind of unleashed some stuff inside that I thought I worked on, but now it's starting to come up, and I was just like, maybe I need to start looking at that more. And it's been going into my writing. And this, I mean, I've been in recovery for a while now, but this is stuff I worked on and stuff from like way back, and I'm starting to like talk about it. And I guess like, and that's really something I didn't expect. I literally said that the other day too. So that's really crazy you mentioned that.
It's interesting you talk about that healing, because I definitely am one of those people. When I came to that workshop, I thought, okay, pull your big girl pants up. This is talking in front of people, and we got to figure it out. But so we'll get you to talk about the process of that workshop, because the way you do it is just flipping dynamite. But after that first session, when we went away to think about, I just literally, I could feel healing begin.
Yeah.
As a mom of a daughter who had a substance abuse problem, the story I wrote in that course, I had never shared that with anybody. I'm going to get all teary-eyed now, and talked about that night and the way we were perceived. And that whole feeling, and the people that loved on me via Zoom from America and England through that process. And it has changed and strengthened my ability to connect with parents who have kids who have a substance abuse problem or a family member.
That's a good point. It strengthens that like relationship to support people as well.
Yeah, we do need to do that work. The more we do that, our own work on that, the better we're able to help people, and so it just makes it's really, the heart of this work has become more important to me than the advocacy piece. So a lot of people don't go and share their stories anywhere on a stage or to anyone, important, special, whatever. But they may have found what they, gotten what they wanted from it and some benefit, but also they might just share that one-on-one with somebody, and the courage that they have to share that, like that key that they've been given, unlocks the other person's ability to go in and share. And so, I mean, it could be that small, or, and it's still just, I'm so caught up in that, the power of just intimate sharing of things that you haven't shared before. And the recovery storytelling workshop is this like cool little space that holds people to be able to be like, just gonna tell this little baby story I've never told anybody before. Everybody's like, yes, we love your baby, we love you. And it's just a magical thing. It's so much bigger than the workshop or recovery, or this is what story sharing.
Well, that's like, I wrote my story today that I'm going to share over the storytelling workshop.
Oh, really?
Yes, no stress there on you, Meghann. I mean, I just think a couple of things you said there. You said created a safe space, and I think you also in that workshop created a brave space.
I was thinking what you were
we were allowed to be brave in that space. And also, like you said, people think advocacy is a big thing, but some of the most powerful advocacy happens on a one-to-one basis,
Yes.
a 1-to-2, a 1-to-3.
In a small group of people.
Just can make change,
Yeah.
And so, so talk us through the process. What did you do to us when we came to you?
It's all
What did you do to
manipulation.
us?
I manipulated you. No. Sometimes we have to take our street skills into recovery to build our business and everything.
Yeah.
No, so it really is the group. The power is the group, and I'm just a steward or a guide for that group, but you all build the ship, but yeah, we just do some groundwork. So we create the safe space together. Everyone knows what to expect, and there's, respect and understanding and all of that. And we learn a little bit. We always watch a video because that opens your heart so amazingly when you see someone else be vulnerable in that way. And so we talk about the video, and we learn a little bit like how is that different from, for example, for 12-step fellowship, there's a very clear set way of telling your story. And so we kind of look at like, how do we deconstruct that? Because that is great for 12-step, but this is something different. So we learn a little bit about that. We learn a little bit about recovery messaging and putting out good recovery language and messages and vibes about people in recovery. And really the gold is once you start to get into story creation. So I usually give prompts, and there's sort of like this free writes, session.
I love prompts. I love prompts.
It's hard to come up with good ones all the time, I'll be honest.
I'm like, Meghann, give me some prompts.
I tend to use the same ones. They're just so good, but and then you work on those stories in pairs. And you'll go in a pair and just tell it for the first time, share with each other, and then come back to the group, and I'll teach you a piece of the craft, story arc or story beats, or these other things. You go back and you tell it to somebody again, and each time you get a little braver and a little more sure about what that story is about. And so by the end of the workshop, we've just built the skills, and you've practiced and you've internalized the story. The healing is happening all through that. Like, I will just about guarantee that what people think the story is about the first time they tell it is totally different than what the story is about when it's done.
Mine was completely different.
Because we're just gently, like, I just encourage people, go a little deeper, peel a layer off, just go a little deep. But I hear what you're saying on the outside, but what was going on inside? And and so we get to that heart, and that's the stuff that makes the story so much more powerful when we hear them, is when we tell from close to the heart, close to the bone. So, and then the end of it is a sort of a celebration where everybody tells their story and everyone gets to hear everyone's story.
I think it was so amazing to go, like, I was nervous, and then to watch my story change dramatically, just like from the first one to like the fourth session, or, and it's just like, you can clearly see the transitional process through that.
It's awesome to watch it too. Like, I just love watching. It's just incredible.
It's like a movie
metamorphosis.
And there were some amazing people in there, and even when you were talking about that, I just instantly thought of one guy in there. And I remember we ended up in a couple of breakout rooms at the same time, and from where I think I was in his first one or second one, and I was just like, oh my god, that's not the same story you told an hour ago. It's amazing. So you definitely do teach some quality craft and skills in there. That also, it's a bit of craft for the heart,
a crafty heart.
Heart crafting.
Yes.
We need to get that, girl.
But the group, I can't speak enough for the group. It's the brave people who show up in the group and are willing to step into the work and connect with each other and be vulnerable and courageous and open. And then the way the group holds each other up. It's an incredible and again, that's like so much bigger than me. Like, it's so beautiful for me to get to sort of just see it
Yeah.
happen. The groups start taking care of each other and lifting each other up and encouraging each other, but telling the truth too.
Yeah.
And then stay connected. I mean, me and Mom were in the class with 2 others, and we all have won the Story Slam. How crazy is that? All from one class.
So
best class ever.
I think some of that is down to your amazing coaching through that process.
Yeah, look at that. And we stay connected, after that too.
Awesome. So look, on that note, since we're in England, what's a story slam, Meghann?
So a story slam is it's a little bit like an open mic, but it's for stories. So you come on Zoom and you put your name in the chat, the hat, as they usually say.
The chat.
If you want to tell a story, and we draw the names at random as we go throughout the evening. And you could tell a 3 to 5 minute true story with no notes, no reading, no memorization, just you've hopefully learned your story as you've crafted it. And it's kind of fun. The audience gets to decide who wins, which is very cool. And then the judges also, there's 2 judges, which is myself and Phil Valentine.
Yay.
Because we made the thing, so we get to decide.
The
DJ right click. DJ right click.
Yes. MC Meghann.
And so there are 2 prizes, 2 winners from each slam, and win, lose, participate, watch, it doesn't matter. It's just a fun, powerful, it's always powerful when you share stories. There's nothing, you can't go too wrong with that if there's a structure in place to keep it safe and good. So they're a lot of fun. They are totally on US time.
For now, we're working on you.
I know.
We're working on you.
Yes. The UK takeover.
But I tell you, it is worth staying up till 11 p.m. UK time.
It's good
to watch it or participate, because best thing to do before bed.
So we have a few coming up. We have May 21st.
Yep.
June 17th. And then our Grand Slam. July 9th, which you both will be in. So that is, the Grand Slam is the 8 winners from the whole spring series compete against each other.
Mom won't tell me what she's writing about.
There is no Rocky music in the back of our house.
If anybody out there is not aware, these 2 are very competitive.
Never.
Only when it comes to the story slam.
Oh yeah.
But it is wonderful for a good cause. Absolutely.
So we have a free story gathering every the first Monday of every month on Zoom. Anyone can come. That's from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is midnight for you. But it's free. It's fun. It gets you a taste of what I do and what goes on in recovery storytelling. And then, of course, the workshops. The next workshop is daytime per request.
On UK time.
Yay!
Yeah.
I would love to have some UK folks turn out. Is it turn up?
Turn up. Turn out.
Turn down. Turn up.
Turn down for what?
Yeah, we really need need a few more UK people to come along. I think if we can get 2 more UK folks into the slam, then it might be 50-50. Half America, half English.
Yes.
That would be awesome. I'm
telling you this USA versus UK slam is about to go down.
Yes. You all are
She's on a mission.
Well, I'm signing up for the intensive training course because I got to get on the pro status.
There's also next level. That'll be happening towards the end of June. Will be the advanced recovery storytelling class. There'll be another class in June too. So
we will post all the links to the free storytelling gathering, the story slams, Meghann's workshop in the chat below, so that if you want to just stay up late, take a nap one day from like 3 to 5, and then get up and stay up late and watch a story slam.
Mom takes a nap every day.
Not every, but some. I'm getting old. I'm allowed to. Yeah.
And if you have a whole team or like a whole group, you can also always reach out and
Yeah.
We'll have a special one for that group on a certain whatever timetable works for you. And
Yeah.
Sounds good.
so
Because
that's
we can
also-
start doing these Meghann Perry things during having you get up early in the morning.
I know. I was just calculating, like if they started at 9, I'd have to be up at 3.
Yeah.
That's an extra $500. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd
be happy to do that.
The coffee by 4, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll also have my passport in a matter of weeks, and I'm fully vaccinated. So,
So
in person,
I'm fully
So
vaccinated.
yeah,
fly me over.
you are going to be staying in the summer house in our backyard,
Yes,
practicing storytelling at some point
Oh, that's
with your
so
amazing
good.
daughter. So
In the
yeah.
backyard.
Well, I lived there for 3. Just so I got to plug the UK connection. I married an Englishman and was with him 12 years, and I lived in England for 3 years, and I have not set foot on English soil in 20. I think 22 years.
I think a lot might have changed.
Well, it's time to
I
come
think
back.
maybe.
Yeah. How much did you pay for fish and chips when you were here before?
Oh, just a couple quid, if that.
Oh, no. You better get the 10-pound note out now.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So Calliese has a new story to share with
I
you.
know, yes.
So
Top
hold on,
secret
anything else?
stuff I want to hear.
So we really try to practice what we learn, because if we don't practice it and keep going, then it gets all rusty and it's no use.
Yes.
So I've been amazed to use the skills Meghann gave me in a couple of forums and platforms, and the response has been really good. And Meghann's had a really massive impact on us. So Calliese decided, in prepping for this Story Slam championship, she has to write more stories and practice them.
Mm-hmm.
So this one came up, and I haven't even heard it, Meghann.
No.
Ooh, me neither. I don't know anything about it.
I'm going to slide off screen here and let her go for it.
Okay. October 31st, 2020. On a day when people light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off the ghosts, I attended a workshop that gave me a little hope. All I knew was this woman was going around teaching people how to tell their stories with impact, connection, and purpose. Prior to attending, I became a hawk, hunting for more. Facebook, YouTube, her website, ding, 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 jackpot. And honestly, I showed up, nervous, not knowing what to expect. There she was, the one and only Meghann Perry on my freaking laptop screen. She was a cool cat, full of charisma, so inviting and warm. And as the minutes went by, my shoulders dropped back, my knees the pace of my knees started dropping dramatically. Her warmth set the atmosphere on fire. And with every word she spoke, it was as if they were each strategically placed in that split second. Then something magical happened in that workshop. For years, I'd been silenced, scared to be honest about things that had happened to me. My dad would say, "What happens in this house stays in this house." And when the truth would sneak out, another welt, another bruise, and another belt on my back. I walked through life, preyed on by my past, the continuous battle of doubt and fear. But then here's Meghann. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, she stood tall with confidence and shared stories I knew well. She lit a spark in me, and I kept thinking, and Meghann Perry, don't you know there's stories in me I'm dying to tell? She gave me comfort with permission to share. Today, to stand tall and use my voice with honesty, authenticity, vulnerability. It was magical, I swear. And by the end of that training, it was as if I woke up from a dream, because little did I know she brought out the phoenix in me.
That was so beautiful. I'm so moved. Wow. You did a wonderful job. You did a really great job on that, Calliese. I love it. I wanted
to do something nice for you, because I'm like, you do so well. Like, I was just like, that last line though,
I mean, well, and Meghann's company is called Phoenix Storytelling.
Yeah, so
Phoenix
like
Tales,
that.
yes.
So
Yeah.
rising from the ashes. And
Yes.
not only, Meghann, you've given our family a gift,
Oh.
because by helping Calliese have a voice to learn how to share the bad stuff, but also the amazing good stuff, because now we know how to tell good stories that are positive as well.
Yeah, yes.
But when she has gifts and crafts and skills and things to practice and learn, it brings peace to our household.
Oh.
So the gift of a storytelling workshop goes way beyond the 8 hours they give you. And if everybody who attends your workshop gets even 1/10 of the gifts that we've got from what we've learned, then it's just worth doing, and you're on for a winner. And yeah, and Meghann's just amazing. So y'all need to go check her out. Check out the Storytelling Gathering, go do her workshop. And if you want a safe space in the UK to practice some stories, then just get in contact with Calliese and I, and we will do our best to create that safe space to help you advocate for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
You guys are so awesome.
Don't worry, we're coming to Boston to get a hug one day. Yeah.
Aw.
So
Meghann,
we are going to share everything about you so people can find you.
Aw.
And
Okay.
just get in contact, and we'll definitely get you back to do some more storytelling once we've once we're slam ready.
Yeah.
I'm
I love the competition. No, you guys have been phenomenal. You guys have been phenomenal, and so enthusiastic, and you worked your butts off in the workshops and in the slams, and it really shows. It really does show, and it makes what I do, my little role in it, so worth it. So thank you for that beautiful, beautiful story, Calliese. It was just wow.
Oh, a little surprised since you gave up some of your time.
I'm not writing a testimonial. I'm writing a story about you, Meghann.
It was clear that
oh
yes, no, wonderful. Thank you both so much.
Yeah, so thank you for taking the time to share a bit of your story, a bit of what you do with us across the pond. Probably your lunchtime somewhere. No,
I've got another Zoom. It's all right. I just got out of Zoom.
On to the next.
Just fitting this in with the,
God, Zoom, the word of this year and last year, isn't it? So
But
thank you so much for your time.
So,
we'll try and get you a little video of Callise's story so you can have it to keep.
Yes, please. I would love that. I would love that. Do you mind if it's on my next email blast?
Oh no, go ahead. Good. As long as you put champion storytelling.
Oh gosh, figure out a story now. Oh, thank you so much, Meghann. Have a lovely day, and we will definitely see you on the next storytelling course because we're going to be there with them.
Beautiful.
Take care. Bye.